Classic League Podcast time!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 350 of the Classic League Podcast. My disappearing co-host is Kevin. What's going on, man?
We are back! Wow! Yeah, it's been a while.
Has been. I'm sorry. I'm still doing I got two jobs, so,
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So
last time we... say what?
I was going to say, I have a gap in the schedule. I can fit it in. How you doing, man?
Good. Last time we spoke, I was 33, and now I'm 34. So celebration.
Cheers, big ears. What are you drinking? A Mountain Dew? Tall Mountain Dew?
Muskoka Brewery Cream Ale.
Nice. I'm drinking one of my own beers.
This tastes like what I imagined beer to taste like as a kid.
Uh-oh.
Scott, the cup runneth over.
I poured that bad.
And you want to be my brewer. Wow, that's a hard word to say. Yes, my birthday was a couple weeks ago, and I got a lot of
24. That's a big one, man.
Wait, what? 24?
When we first met, you were like fucking 24.
I was a little tiny baby, and now I'm still a giant man baby.
Yeah.
So that happened. My daughter got vaxxed. I'm one of those murderous parents.
Sweet.
My 6-year-old the vaccine, and you know what her side effects were?
Hopefully zero, like me.
Nothing. Yeah, she's completely fine. Not even a sore arm. Nothing.
Did speaking of the vaccine, have we recorded since I had my booster?
Yes. Last time you had your booster.
All right. So yeah, I had zero side effects. I'm a month into my booster, and all right, this is really weird right now. It's tripping me out. Something about the frame rate on my camera feels more like live action, like a Guy Ritchie kind of a movie. So I feel like our cameras are wildly out of sync. On my end,
oh no,
the frame rate's strange. Like it's fun to. I've been drinking a little bit today. So wait,
Scott's been drinking tonight. Just give me all a heads up.
It should be a fun.
That's why he's more wild and fun.
Fun Scott's better Scott. I suppose you're not the first person that said that. But there's like a frame rate thing. It's fun to watch my hands go in the frame. But anyways,
that's just the brain right now. It's just like,
I know that's the thing. Is I don't know if it's me that's being chopped.
Hold on, let me catch up. Hold on.
Yeah, right. So, anyways, yes, welcome to Classic Elite. We are a video game podcast. We're going to talk about video games and kind of what we've been up to most recently. But
I've also seen a couple movies I want to bring up. It's been a couple of weeks. I don't know. Yeah. I don't remember when we recorded it. It was before the 17th. So it's been almost a month, close to.
Right about. That's why I asked about the vaccine, because I know Monday was a month since I got my booster.
Yeah, so it's probably around there that we last recorded. Hey, life is life, and you don't pay me to do this.
That's what it is. I've started a new day job, so I have
awesome.
a new. I'm very excited about it. I'm a week and a half in, and it feels just better. I just like the organization a lot more, so I'm super excited.
That's awesome. I'm happy for you.
I'm not less busy, but have still been able to consume some media and also play some video games.
Sweet.
One that I cannot wait to talk to you about.
Yeah, I want to hear all about it.
So, but I guess before we jump into, news and all that nonsense, man, how you been?
I've been good. You've, I don't know if you want to say the announcement about what other application of podcasting we are now on.
So there's a Notre Dame podcast that sometimes I listen to, and I want to steal the line that he uses.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere you want me, you can get me when it comes to audio.
That's what they say?
That's what he says, yes.
Oh, okay.
So now there's no word everywhere but Spotify. We are on Spotify.
Spotify.
Mm-hmm. I am super late to getting around to doing that. I promised in 2019 that I would definitely do it in 2020, and it's almost 2021 before I got around to doing it.
Well, the pandemic happened, you know.
That is a bullshit excuse.
I know.
I'm not going to even try that.
I'm trying to help you out.
I know. God bless you. You're a great friend. I was okay. When Spotify first started doing podcasts, you had to submit like a Google form. Like, it was very rudimentary. They were highly selective. Obviously, we didn't make the cut the first time. And then it was a situation where if you signed up for Anchor and you hosted your stuff on Anchor, you automatically got in. So I was like, oh, I'll get around to getting us on Anchor and whatnot. I've been really happy with Squarespace as our hoster, like for the website, and the downloads are super fast. Like, Kevin and I, this is a hobby entirely. Any of our Google links, we've never made a profit on this before. I've always paid out of my pocket to continue the hosting and all that. So the idea of I don't know, getting in bed with something, you know, on top of Squarespace, because Squarespace just works and this is a fun hobby, right? Like, the Anchor side, I don't know. Nobody's ever approached us legitimately. It's like, hey, we think that you do a great job in our network or whatever. All the networks we've been invited to have seemed a little suspect. So, now, if you just have a legitimate feed, you get on Spotify. So, that's how it was easy peasy. And God bless all you new Spotify listeners. Our analytics have absolutely soared.
We went from 200 to 201. Thank you.
Let's not boast. Like, we have almost 1,000 listeners now. Like, that's really exciting. Like, I don't know what happened in the Spotify analytics, but that's awesome. I hope that you enjoy Kevin and I's take on video games. We range from super old to super brand new. So, and I just accidentally hit my seat. So, super professional. Anyways. We're on Spotify now, so look up Classic Space Leet on Spotify and you'll find us.
And we're as popular as Joe Rogan and Last Podcast on the Left, which is the only 2 podcasts I know on Spotify.
You know what? In my feed, we are 100% more popular than Joe Rogan.
Fuck yeah. Fuck Joe Rogan. I don't even know who Joe Rogan is.
You know, I'm indifferent. I love the memes that show him being an idiot. I've listened to like a lot of Joe Rogan before, because sometimes he has really good.
He's a comedian, right?
Like,
I don't know who Joe Rogan is.
Yeah, and he did Fear Factor and all that, which kind of, I don't know.
Oh, that's the same guy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It does UFC.
He's built, right? Or he was built.
Built.
He's pretty like you know.
He's a stout. He's a short little guy. He's like you and me. Like, you're short too, aren't you?
I'm 5'9".
Yeah, that's short. I'm 5'8". We're short.
Is that short? What the
fuck?
hell?
Yeah, short.
5'9" short.
It's short.
I'm so proud of that.
It's short in the Americas. If you get the whole world together, no, we're like average, slightly above average, but.
Oh, okay. Like my penis.
No, but you live in Toronto. You're short.
I'm like the tallest one out of my friends.
Because you're Canadian.
Short. There you go.
So, anyways, welcome to the Shortcast. I'm Scott. This is Kevin. So, but yeah, we will be talking about video games as it comes up. But please check us out on Spotify if you are one of the folks that have listened from the beginning and we are an inconvenience, yet need another app to listen to us. No longer do you need to do that if you've moved over to Spotify.
Sweet.
But no, we were not given $100 million or whatever it was for Joe Rogan to switch over.
I would deny it. My principles are more than my moral.
Your principles are to lie to the audience about getting $100 million?
Yeah. Give me a game review. I'll give it a 10.
Hey, audience, I will tell you if I get $100 million for this podcast. I will tell you. And I will tell you exactly how I
won't take it. I'm saying I'm against corporate greed and the economy and sheeple and yada yada.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm all about the
audience. Fine. Guess
principles.
What? I will take all the money. I will let Kevin still grind away his life for no reason. I'll let you buy any house you want on that street. Oh, I got to turn my shit off.
Hey, that's not very. You just lost $100 million just now for that unprofessionalism.
You're right. Joe Rogan drops F-bombs all the time. Anyways, all right. Video games and what we've been doing and all that. So, Get us on Spotify. Kevin, man, what you been up to last week or so? Any TV shows?
First off, I watched the movie. Well, I ever watched the movie Home Sweet Home Alone, or ever hear of the movie Home Sweet Home Alone?
No.
So it's a Disney Plus reimagining. Not even. It's a sequel to Home Alone.
Is this the brand new Home
movie.
Alone?
Yeah. Home Sweet Home Alone.
With I watched the new Home Alone that just came out on
Disney Plus.
Yeah. That's called Home Sweet Home Alone?
Yeah.
I just thought it was Home Alone 4 or 5 or whatever.
No, it's called Home Sweet Home Alone.
Oh.
With the parents, right? Who are the burglars?
Yeah.
They're trying to steal the doll?
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you think of it?
I thought it was not nearly as charming as the original.
Okay.
But
the original is its own thing.
Far from terrible. I watched it.
Right.
Like, in fact, I had a moment when I watched it where I was thinking to myself, if I was like 8 or 9, right, and this came out, and this was the first one that I saw, I could see myself liking this more than the original. Like, it's good enough that whatever the first one that you see that gets you hooked on Home Alone would be your favorite.
Right. That's with anything. The first anything you listen to or watched will probably be your favorite.
Yeah, but like Home Alone is, I mean, top tier when it comes to nostalgia, right? Like, that is ingrained. It was a very cute movie. I think that Kimmy Schmidt was an excellent burglar mom. Like, the thing I loved about this movie was it wasn't a total rehash of the first one. It was totally a movie where the kid is not the star at all. And it's
everything that's happening around him.
Yeah, so it's like you were rooting for the burglars, but not rooting for the burglars.
You understood where they were coming from.
Like that's why Loki was such a great character in the first Thor. Like a lot of people don't like that movie, but Loki's so awesome in that because you get both brothers were trying to appease Odin, right? It makes sense. It's a Shakespearean kind of a take on stuff, and the motivation was silly because it's a kids movie, but legitimate because you understand why they were doing what they were doing. They took extra care to cover up like those kinds of plot holes. Like why wouldn't you just wait till the parents got home and just call them? You know what I mean? Like,
or why not use your cell phone?
Why not? Yeah, they handled. They considered a lot of that. It was a totally
like. Why doesn't he use his cell phone? Because he's what, 9?
He's 9.
He doesn't have a cell phone. He's a kid.
One. And why?
So why do they call it a house phone? Because they don't have a house phone.
And why?
No one has a house phone.
Nobody does. And why wouldn't the burglars just wait till the parents get home? They give like a reason why they wouldn't why they would act out of sorts like they did.
Yeah. And that's how I felt about the movie, because I see that people were hating on the movie and it got terrible reviews. And I'm like, that's not fair, because you're comparing it to the original. Never compare it to the original. It's its own thing. But also a sequel, because they have like a Buzz in there, which I thought was a nice touch. Why don't the cops come to the house? Because Kevin is still making prank phone calls to Buzz to fuck with him and saying, hey, there's a kid at home alone. Like, that's funny. That's something Kevin would do.
And ties up that loose end plot wise.
Yeah, he's done. He's older now.
Why wouldn't? Yes, it takes care of where's Kevin.
Yeah,
it takes care of where's Buzz. It also explains why the cops wouldn't like reinvestigate.
Right.
It's awesome.
And I like that Buzz would become a cop, because of course he would.
Of course he would.
Right. I like that he was still dumb, but still like, Buzz. Like, he was still likable. I don't know. I just thought that this movie got like unfairly judge. I saw people on like Twitter saying like, "Oh, I fell asleep in the first 10 minutes." I'm like, "No, you fucking did it. You watched the whole thing. You enjoyed it, and you're too ashamed to say I enjoyed this movie. You enjoyed a new Home Alone movie, and you don't want to say out loud because I get it. It's cool to hate things. I get it. It's just cool to hate things.
Yeah, Kevin.
You hate Rick and Morty because it's not, it's too smart or whatever. No, you like Rick and Morty.
New Spotify listeners, let's be honest. Kevin hates fucking everything.
I do.
He is the type of guy that would be like, "Yeah, you remade Home Alone without Macaulay Culkin." Yeah.
No, I'm not.
I know.
I hate.
Normally
I hate
you are,
things.
or
you've
shown that maybe you might be like that. I'm impressed that you like it so much.
Yeah, I really liked it. I liked the kid. I liked like the Scarface like jokes that he was doing.
Yeah. When he had the recreation of the gluttony scene or the gluttony montage or whatever.
Right. And
but I don't
know. I just thought it was a fun movie. It was just
he's
like
not
fun.
the star.
He's not.
Like I thought when I was reflecting afterwards, I was like, that's brilliant that they didn't even worry about getting, because Macaulay Culkin was a diamond in a rough, right?
Yeah.
To be a 9-year-old that can command the screen like that, they didn't mess around with that. They just focused on Kimmy Schmidt and.
But I saw online they're like he wasn't likable. I'm like, he wasn't supposed to be likable.
He didn't need. Yeah, this time he didn't need to be.
He was just a goober kid. Like kids are
He
goobers.
was getting in the way of these parents saving their livelihood by getting a doll.
Right. That he didn't even take, that you thought he did. So it's like, that's even better. Because he's not an asshole.
Even better.
Right. So I don't know. I enjoyed it and it got a lot of hate. And I'm like, that's not fair. You can't just hate it.
That hate.
Yeah, oh yeah. People hate it because it's the internet and it's what people do. They hate stuff.
Get off Twitter, man.
The opposite of hate, I don't know if you've watched it, but have you watched Ghostbusters?
No. Now, I've seen nothing but hate about that movie.
Really?
Yes.
That's surprising. We're hanging out with the wrong crowd.
Nothing but it's just,
really.
Yeah. Okay. Let me pull the Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Of the new Ghostbusters? Not
the Afterlife or whatever.
Mm.
Isn't that what it's called?
I can tell you. Yeah. I can tell you that I may or may not have like cried during the movie, but not like, but like, man, that's so good.
Oh, okay. The critics give it a 63
down, but the fans are giving it up.
Audience score 95%. So okay, now I'm in.
It does. I see. It's weird because I'm not going to spoil anything, but my problem with the other Ghostbuster movie, and I've said as many times on this podcast, is acknowledge
that you're sexist and
that I'm sexist, but acknowledge the original and do a kind of pass the torch kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Did they do
that?
I
always said. I'm not going to say they did or they didn't, but they did. They did exactly what I wanted. And the way they treated this movie with the respect of how much respect you can give Ghostbusters was great.
Did that Wolfgang kid, the kid from Stranger Things, the little skinny kid?
Yeah, the one who looks like Star Wars. What? Sorry?
Was he annoying? Was he off?
I don't know. He was like a background character. He was just like a secondary character.
Oh man, I thought he was a star. Oh,
no,
based on
the
smidge of the trailer I saw, like he was.
Oh, the Harold Ramis. Sorry, not Harold Ramis. Egon's granddaughter is the star, and that little girl,
awesome,
perfect.
Hell yeah,
she was awesome. She was awkward. She reminded me of my daughter, which is a good like connection.
Sure.
Because she was so like nerdy and the joke she made was so awkward. And that was the point because she's like Egon. Remember when Egon would be like, "Wait, Egon," or whatever?
Absolutely.
And that was her. And she looked like him. She acted like him.
Cool.
But still doing her own thing. It was so, and she's so smart and it was just so like perfect. So that goes to show this movie had a bunch of kids in as Ghostbusters. And 2 of them were girls. So I'm just saying.
But it didn't like the Bill and Ted 3 was effectively girls, right?
I never watched Bill and Ted. I know. Never watched a single movie. Have no idea. I just know it's something to do with a phone booth and time travel. That's all I know.
You haven't watched any of them?
I know. None of them. I know. I get that a lot. Same thing with Star Wars. I'm like, I don't like Star Wars. What?
Star Wars is acceptable. You haven't seen any of the Bill and Ted's?
None of the Bill and Ted's.
Fuck. Well, the third one, the daughters are kind of who drive the plot, and it's so well done that it doesn't feel like a gimmick the way that the 2016 Ghostbusters did, of like, hey, we're just gonna be a skit comedy show and slap the name Ghostbusters on it.
Right.
I like that they're kids. That's awesome. I can't wait to watch this movie.
I like that they're kids because as kids, when we watch Ghostbusters, we wanted to be Ghostbusters. And I saw kids in the like. I didn't think my daughter, because I don't know how like jump scary it would be, and I'm like, I don't want her to cry while I'm watching movies. I'm like, come on, I want to watch this movie. But I saw other kids in the theater dressed up like Ghostbusters, like full uniform. And I even saw some women dressed up like the Ghostbuster uniform from the 2016 one with the red lines. I liked the 2016 movie. I don't hate it. I just didn't think it was necessary reboot of a franchise. That's why I didn't like it, because it was.
I think it's an objectively like boring bad movie, even if you took Ghostbusters out of it.
I was still entertained by it. It just, I wish it wasn't called Ghostbusters. Like, I'm glad it exists, but it dug its own grave by making it its own thing. Where this movie is part of the
fair
franchise.
enough. I'll just
like
say, if you're not wrong,
if they acknowledge the original ones, and then you can acknowledge that these Ghostbusters exist in this one, but because you didn't, you dug your own hole, right?
That first movie, that 2016 one though, is not.
It wasn't good.
It was awful. It was awful.
Yeah.
And not because it was anchored to the Ghostbusters name. It was awful regardless. It just wasn't like funny. And it should have been. Because it was a good cast. It was just poorly written and directed. Like, it had nothing to do with the ladies.
And that's probably the one bad thing I would say about Afterlife, is that I'm a nostalgia guy. Well, actually, that's not true.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not, because
you're a nostalgia guy first and foremost, above all else.
I'm
you
not.
Wish your daughter was born in 1982.
No. Here's my thing. I'm not nostalgic because I live my nostalgia every day. I'm not like thinking, oh man, I miss Ghostbusters. I just watched Ghostbusters again the other day. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? You don't go back and go, I miss Super Mario 3. It's like, I just played that on the can. Like, I'm not nostalgic for that thing. I enjoy those things still.
Fair enough.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but this movie is meant for people like us, but I felt like they didn't, it's not the word relied. I felt like they repeated the same beats, which I was kind of like, remember how in Ghostbusters 2, they kind of did the same thing in Ghostbusters 1? Instead of Stay Puft, you have the Statue of Liberty. And you know what I mean? Like, I like Ghostbusters 2 too. Apparently that movie, people hate it.
I like that movie.
I did too.
I saw it in the theater, and my mom regretted taking me.
Because of the freaky heads at the beginning?
When the head like popped out of the painting, like at the side.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and like, God, my mom is a sweetheart. She's an awesome lady. And she was not there was no way to be a helicopter parent in like the 90s, right? But if that functionality existed, she would have been more of a helicopter parent. Like, she had that Catholic guilt, like, fucking nailed.
Mm-hmm.
Why she didn't screen the media I was taking in more diligently is beyond me. So, you know, there was we've talked about it a whole bunch. There was a RoboCop cartoon. For some reason, that made it okay to watch the RoboCop movie. I watched the Ghostbusters cartoon on Saturday mornings, and we recorded off the TV the first Ghostbusters movie. And, like, I guess my parents never watched it and realized how adult that movie is.
Yeah, like, both Ghostbusters are very adult.
Well, that was her thing. She didn't realize that Ghostbusters was adult until she was sitting in the theater with me watching the sequel going, oh, shit, I shouldn't have brought my 9-year-old to this movie.
Yeah.
And there were no ghost blowjobs in that one either.
Right. I actually looked that up because I was like, what the fuck is up with that scene? And then apparently it was like a cut scene that they made it as a dream. and everyone hated it, but they put it in there anyway. It was a completely different scene that they filmed, and then they just chucked it in there because they thought it was funny.
That is funny.
Like, it's so random.
It's very funny, and it is very random.
But there is no blowjob scene in the new Ghostbusters. The new Ghostbuster movie hit everything I wanted a new Ghostbuster movie to hit.
Okay.
Like I said, the only thing is they relied too much on nostalgia, which isn't a bad thing because it is Ghostbusters after all. You want to see like nostalgia thing. But they overall, like, it was just so beautiful. Like, I just loved it so much. It was so good. I'm spoke so about
excited
it.
To watch it.
Yeah, and again, I'm not going to ruin a single thing, but I did get all teary-eyed. They treated it with respect, and I would honestly be happy for these kids to continue to make more Ghostbuster movies. Okay. Because it wasn't even like that many Ghostbusting. It was like maybe 2.
Like, well, the first movie wasn't any Ghostbusting.
Right. Well, these are a montage of them doing Ghostbusting, right? But this one, there's maybe 2.
Is what had all the Ghostbusting.
And because their proton packs are so heavy, because they're kids, like 3 people are using 1 proton pack to get a ghost. Like,
okay, stop. We don't need to.
But it was so.
That's awesome.
Well done. There's a kid in there named Podcast, which I thought was pretty funny, and he's like one of the weird friends. And like, they don't.
This is a weird. Let's be honest. That's fair, right?
What?
You and I have been podcasting or hooked on podcasts since going back 12 years now. Right?
Yeah.
That is fair. The weird one's called podcast.
Right. And I like that he would record with a mic everywhere. And they're like, "Oh, you have a podcast?" He's like, "Yeah." And then he gives a USB key because he doesn't know how to put it on the internet. He just records. And it's what you used to do with your tape recorder.
It is, right? Yes.
So it's the same thing as like calling someone radio back in the day because they had a radio that they always listened to. Like, and I'm like, I'm okay with it. It's a little cheesy, but I get it. It's the modernized version of what used to be.
This is a side note. Can I ask you a question about?
You may.
Okay. If you okay, let me ask you. Start with this. Do you ever hear anybody refer to them as pods?
The pods? No, never.
Yeah. On the last pod or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Never.
I feel like there's a delineation of if you are somebody that's a hobbyist podcaster and you've done this like we have. Right. So let me be clear. I'm saying that I am and we are better than the people I'm about to discuss.
Okay.
So a lot of my sports podcasts I listen to, they now say pod. Oh, on the last pod, on the current pod.
That's
they don't name episodes, right? They don't call it a podcast. They call it a pod. And it makes me feel like every time I hear that, it's a parent saying Nintendo tape. Like,
yeah,
you know roughly what it is, but you don't know what it is. And everybody I hear referring to it as a pod is like financially or from an audience perspective above us, right? Like, I think you could look at objective matrix and all that. Metrics, and know that they are more popular or whatever. But fuck them. We built this foundation.
We've honestly been doing podcasting for
11 years.
Yeah, longer than that. Because I was recording when like Screw Attack was still a thing. That's what inspired me to do a podcast.
Well, I guess me personally has been over 11 years, and like podcasts like the Retro League, which shout out to the Retro Game Club. If you don't subscribe to the Retro Game Club, go do that. Hugh and the new Rob. It's a fucking awesome show. The Retro League though, back in the day, I used to have to go to their website, or Tiger Claw Radio, Critical Failure. I used to have to go to I used to have to go to paranerds.com, click on the episode, and download it to my phone. There was no podcast aggregator. There was no iTunes that handled all this stuff.
Right, you had to download. That's right. You
had to get it. You had to go to their site and download an MP3. And I was ahead of the game because I was downloading it on my phone. Like that's how I felt about it, right?
Well, you know where podcast comes from, right? You're overthinking it already.
It's an Apple thing.
Yeah, iPod. Pod.
The iPod and the casting of the iPod.
But podcast is a play on words of broadcast. So podcast.
So that's why it annoys me to no end when people call it the pod.
Because iPods don't even exist now, and podcasts.
Pods are like
containers, like the iPod.
It shouldn't be called a pod, right? It should be called a podcast.
Podcast. That's dumb for them to call it that.
Yeah, right. If I was like, "Hey, welcome to the pod. This is Classic Elite," wouldn't you want to smack me?
I would. I would go there and smack you.
Oh,
I'd be so upset.
That's what it takes.
Well, the coronavirus kind of stopped.
Hey, eventually. Okay, all right. The coronavirus is. I've let it wash over me, right? I've accepted the coronavirus is always going to be here.
Yeah, we're back up to 1,000. Woo!
Yeah. Oh, dude,
no
where I'm living, we were in the summer. We were getting 0 cases. We're oh my god, it's awful now. But once we all get used to living in this more, and like, that I'm vaccinated fully, like to the gills, right? You're vaccinated to the gills. You're just gonna have to fucking come down here.
Yeah. See, this is drunk Scott saying like, "Come over, man. Let's hang out, man."
That's fair. That's fair.
Now that Scott is yelling at me, that is the end of my Ghostbuster review.
That's right. Yes, I just want to hang out with you in person sometime, Kevin.
I know. I did too.
So, Ghostbusters, go watch it. It's fun. All right, man. You ready to pull up
let's get into the pod.
I
flipped it and reversed it. See
didn't that make you wince a little bit by saying that?
It did. But a lot of things I say make me wince.
Great fucking joke, though.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's pull up the Metacritic, see what kind of new games have come out recently. Looks like there's some highly rated or highly regarded games. Do you have anything that stood out to you?
Nope. Except for Rocket League Sideswipe on iOS.
Cool. Yeah.
Other than that, nothing well, I know you have the one game that's standing out to you.
Well, tomorrow, as of recording this, and hopefully tomorrow as it's being released, but this week, Halo Infinite comes out.
Which is what?
Fucking pumped. Tomorrow. The 8th of December.
Oh, so I'm thinking about, well, not yet, but I'm thinking about doing Game Pass again, because I only did like $1 for 3 months. But I don't want gold. Also, with gold games, your Xbox games for Xbox One, you can't play them without gold. You can only play 360 games without gold. You know when you download like the gold games?
Yeah.
And it downloads to your console? If it's a 360 game, you keep it. But if it's an Xbox One game, you don't keep it. You need gold to play it. I didn't know that.
It's better than I would have expected. I would have thought that 360 would be cut off too.
No, because that was gold's like big draws. Like you get to keep the games. Or PlayStation
even
Plus,
if you weren't subscribed?
Right.
Oh man, I misunderstood that the whole time.
No, I thought it was for all of them, but then I just recently found out Xbox One games. So I'm like, ooh, Zone of Vendors. I forgot I got this. Oh, ukulele doesn't work. Damn it! And I'm like, I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, that's why, because it's my gold is subscribed. It expired. But I've come back to. Well, I have like 800 games in my backlog without gold or without Game Pass. But I saw Game Pass on its own is $12 a month Canadian. And I'm like, I pay $12 a month Canadian for like Disney Plus. I don't watch that thing every day. So I'm like, what's another streaming like service, right? But I'll do that eventually. Sorry, go on. Halo Infinite.
No, I was more interested in what you were saying. I am a massive proponent of. Look, if Xbox, if a big platform is going to go all in on something, you might as well see if it's worth it. And I just think I adore Game Pass. I think it's fucking awesome. Well, and we'll get to that in the news in a little bit. I guess I'll say this about Halo. I play them out of order. I don't know.
Is Halo Infinite a new game or is it like a repeat?
Yes, it's an abs. Okay, so Halo 6. Let's call it Halo 6.
Okay.
It is
with a story mode and everything.
Full campaign, all that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But what they did differently was the multiplayer. They pulled out entirely and made it separate. And the multiplayer is free to play if you're on PC or on Xbox. So it's even on Steam free. You don't even need that Microsoft nonsense.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's all I've been playing related to Halo recently. And Kevin, I can't play first-person shooters competitively. Period. I can't.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm not. This is not hyperbole. 90% of the time I play against real people.
Yeah.
I am the bottom of the barrel, and by orders of magnitude amongst all the other players. I always bring my team down. If we win, it's in spite of me. But this Halo has a bot mode.
Ooh, okay.
So I go and I kill bots, and I do great. And they're terrible. The bots suck.
Reminds me of Counter-Strike days back in the day when I would play against bots.
Yeah, or like when I was playing MOBAs, playing against bots. You know, I actually had a chance to win. The bots have made me better, but not good enough to play against humans. However, it has me unbelievably excited to play Halo Infinite. It feels good. Like it feels modern. It doesn't feel like the old Halo games.
I feel like this came out with a fart though. I felt like the other Halo games was like it was like a Grand Theft Auto game that came out. You're like, holy shit, it's finally out. But I don't know. I didn't feel like anyone was talking about this.
I think that's fair. That hasn't quite been my experience, but the congruent, is that the word? Like the amount of players at the same time?
Oh, I don't know.
It's very popular on Steam. There's a shitload of people playing the multiplayer.
Okay, I believe
it is a big deal.
Know.
But you're right. Yeah. You're right. It's not like being lorded over after like some games that you hear from the press, right?
Right. And I remember there being like maybe the streaming service breaks the line factor. Like I remember people lining up to play Halo, like to buy the game.
Yeah, exactly. There's no barrier to entry, right?
Right.
And I don't know, maybe Microsoft didn't like grease enough palms from the media, but it is really popular, and a shitload of people are playing it. And on the Metacritic, the critics are saying it's green. Go get it. It's an 80, 86? Fuck, I'd take that. Halo is objectively a boring fucking, like, get to the next checkpoint, hit your monster closet, get to the next checkpoint, hit the monster closet. I don't know what's going on in Halo. I've played every single one of them. I have no idea.
Them like Halo 2, Halo 7, Halo 3, Halo 5.
I realize that's my fault, right?
Yeah.
But when you
Speaking of which, there's an Uncharted movie that came out, and I'm like, what? When?
That's out?
That's out.
Oh, I saw the trailer for it. That came out?
Yeah.
I bet it's decent. Is it? Let's go look at the Rotten Tomatoes of that.
I was just like, whoa, how random. Like, Uncharted?
I knew that was coming. I thought we even talked about that on the podcast.
Did we? Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know half the things I say.
I thought we did. Well, it's getting better critic reviews than Ghostbusters.
What about the audience review? That's what
it doesn't have any. It doesn't have any of either. Hold on.
No one watched it. Maybe it's not out yet. Maybe I lied.
February 18, 2022. It's not out yet.
Oh, I'm a big, fat, stupid liar.
Oh, what I saw was Gordon Ramsay's Uncharted Season 1 got a 75%. No, yeah, that's not out yet. I'm excited to watch it. It's got, I think Mark Wahlberg is like Sully, maybe. The older guy, and Tom Holland, Spider-Man.
Never mind. This Spider-Man movie, I can't buy tickets for that thing. I want to watch it before it gets spoiled for me, but yeah, they're sold out.
Really?
Everywhere.
It's got the Green Goblin or whatever in it this time, right?
Yeah, and Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Which, again, people were saying the trailer gave too much away. I'm like, but You're asking for Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to show up in the trailer. We all know they're in the movie, but you say you sometimes you say you give too much in the trailer. Now you're saying you don't give enough. Like what? You don't want to? Don't you want to watch a movie and not be like? I didn't watch any Ghostbusters trailer except for the one. That was it. I don't want to watch anything. I don't want to hear anything about it. Same thing with Spider-Man. I've seen the one trailer. I'm good. I don't need to know more. I want to watch the movie and enjoy it.
I'm excited that there's a Uncharted movie coming.
I'll play the game. I mean, it follows the game.
I did finish that game. It took me like 3 or 4 years, but I finished it.
Did you play Uncharted 1 to 3 yet?
No, I never will. I'm gonna watch this movie.
It was really good. Yeah,
I'm gonna watch Uncharted 1. I'm gonna watch Uncharted 2. I'm gonna watch Uncharted 3. And I'm all caught up.
Movies. Actually, the first 4 movies. What? This movie looks like a combination of all 4 games. Is what I meant to say.
Well, good.
Because he mentions his brother, and you don't hear about his brother until Uncharted 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I assume
he's also a kid
around the whole time,
which is weird. Other than Halo, anything else you see on the list besides Rocket League? Apparently for the iPhone.
Chorus. I don't know what it is, but it has good reviews. Evil Geniuses 2 has good reviews.
That's on Game Pass. I've been wanting to play that. It's like you're like an evil mastermind, like a James Bond.
Jurassic World Evolution's getting good reviews.
That's also like a theme park.
But no, my new games to me, which we'll talk about in a little bit, are Binding of Isaac and Spider-Man. Because that's on sale. So,
gotcha.
Finally pulled the trigger, and I'm playing some that new Spider-Man goodness. So, no, so I guess that means, Kevin,
we are
time
now
to get in, what?
In
the news!
Did I get it on that time?
Fucking nailed it.
Nice.
That was a good one.
Well, I was listening to one of our older podcasts, and I was scratching my beard, and then you're like, it sounds like maracas, and it did. It was like, din, 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 din.
That's awesome. Well, cool. Well, hey, good news coming out of the gate. Chrono Cross has a remaster coming. Kevin, why don't you talk about this a little bit?
I don't know if it's a remaster. I don't know what this is, but it's probably a remaster.
You're not alone.
So there's a game called, what's it called? Another Eden?
Complex Dream, Another Eden.
So Another Eden is some game that exists somewhere, but they have Chrono Cross characters in it. But there's also, if you watch the trailer, it's the Chrono Cross intro remastered. So it's all like cell shady and pretty looking and shit. And I don't know. They don't mention Chrono Cross as a remake or remaster.
I guess I heard the Bombcast. Shout out to Giant Bomb on my sweatshirt right now. They were talking about it in terms of it being like a remake of Chrono Cross.
Meaning what?
That it's like more directly that game versus like inspired by kind of a thing.
You mean Another Eden featuring Chrono Cross characters?
No. I guess I could be wrong. I took it as like a more direct, like, here's Chrono Cross again as the game with prettier polish on it.
I'll be okay with that because I
might
love
be wrong.
Chrono Cross. That's my, because it wasn't like I didn't know. Okay, let me speak normal. I didn't know Chrono Cross was a sequel to Chrono Trigger as a kid because I never played Chrono Trigger as a kid. But as an adult, when I played Chrono Cross, after playing Chrono Trigger, I see the connection now. I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing. You're a spiritual sequel. You're not a direct sequel, but you reference the original cast from the original game.
I feel like I heard the Bombcast talk about it as like Chrono Cross can obviously exist, or Chrono Trigger can exist as its own, but like no, it wasn't a Bombcast. I was watching a Chrono Trigger retrospective, and what they had said was you can't talk about Chrono Cross without spoiling Chrono Trigger.
Right.
But it's not necessarily like a direct sequel.
It's like the new Space Jam movie. It's not a sequel, but it references the original.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm down with that.
Where you're like, it exists, it happened, or did it, but it doesn't really matter. Like, it's one of those.
So I don't know. I guess like maybe I never looked into it like quite enough. It's also free to play. Another Eden on Steam. So I don't understand exactly how that works.
I don't know what it is, but yeah, every time I hear the intro to Chrono Cross, it makes me want to play the game instantly. Such a beautiful song. I played it again 3 years ago because I went to Video Games Live and they played it live, and I'm like, I forgot how beautiful this song is, and the intro is so beautiful. It's just a beautiful game with a lot of characters. And I bought a strategy guide for it back in the day.
Can I ask you about something? There's something a little sketchy on Steam about this game.
All right.
Sorry, did I cut you off? Why don't you say what you wanted to say?
I was still good.
There's a reviews section on Steam pages, right? That kind of highlights snippet. It's like the box quotes, the box art quotes.
Yeah.
From back in the day. So there's one from The Gamer, which no periods or spaces, I don't know what that is. A nostalgic venture into a classic JRPG tactics combined with a beautiful art, blah, blah, blah. Right?
Yeah.
Then, so they rated that 4.5 out of 5.
Okay. That's fair.
Then there is underneath that Game Zebo.
Mm-hmm. The famous game.
Just oozes quality, period. Then it says ... The art is absolutely stunning and the music is like JRPG comfort food. Okay. So there's like two quotes together, right? Because it's got the ... in it. Rated 4.5 out of 5. Again, by Game Zebo.
Gotcha.
Then there's something from Kotaku. No score.
Okay.
And it just says ... The story really does seem to be the focus. To me, yes, exactly. You had a little face. Like, it does not feel like Kotaku was out there championing this game, but they selectively found a group of words that would help them. No review from Kotaku.
Is Kotaku that really shitty game site?
Yeah.
That every time I look at it, I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, it's like you try to make.
Yeah.
Again.
Yes.
I'm a pretty liberal guy, but even I'm like, okay, guys, enough with the bullshit. Like, even I'm like, let's take it down a notch.
Right. Yeah. If Kevin's making you go, you've lost the plot. We'll say that, right? So,
now that we're talking about Kotaku,
but Chrono Cross Remaster is coming, and you love Chrono Cross, right?
I do.
Did you play back in the day?
I did
on PS1.
Yeah. Because I thought I bought Final Fantasy VIII my first JRPG, and then Chrono Cross looked like Final Fantasy VIII, so I went with Chrono Cross.
It might. I don't know if it was the same team. It was the same company, though.
It was Square, yeah.
So, all right. Well, more in the news.
I'm just starting the music over again.
Yeah, I like doing that. I feel like
I added another thing.
Texture to the podcast.
I added another news to the list just because I forgot, and it's very big. But anyways, Sony has an Xbox Game Pass competitor coming to PS4 and PS5. New report says. I actually watched.
You got the Polygon link. I think.
Modern Vintage Gamer.
No.
I watched him do it.
Jason Schreier, who's at Bloomberg now, used to be at Kotaku. I think it's Kotaku. I think he's who broke this.
Oh, okay.
But but anyway, who cares? That's irrelevant.
So basically, it's something called Spartacus, which will be merging PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now, kind of like how Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, whatever the fuck it's called now. It's going to be allowing people to play PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, and PSP games.
And the service is coming to PS4 and PS5, which I think is very important to note.
And it's multi-tiered, so the highest level would access to all those games I just said, PS1, 2, 3, and PSP.
Yeah, it's what, 3-tiered? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Which is pretty sweet, because Game Pass is pretty wild, and PlayStation Plus seems like pretty wild stuff, but I own so much PlayStation games that I'm like, eh.
Do you know
but Game Pass does new releases where PlayStation Plus doesn't.
Do you know what, like, the definition of the tiers, though, at this point?
No, they just said that the third one will have all that, which is cool. It's kind of how I'm feeling with the Nintendo service, the online service thing, with the whole like how they offer N64 games now and Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I kind of wish you offered both for me to buy the games or play online to play these games, because I own about like 60 PS1 games and I don't know 28 PS2 games on the PlayStation service, and I can't play those games on PS4. I can play them on PS3, but not 4. So if you're gonna offer this backwards compatibility, I gotta pay again for another service for games I already have, but I don't have access to. You know what I mean?
I do.
Unless that's something that they offer later, which I don't know. But my biggest gripe with PlayStation 4 has always been you're not backwards compatible. You claim to be, but you're not. Which pissed me off because the PS3 you can play PS1, 2, and 3 games. On PS4 you can't. So all those games you purchase on the PlayStation Store for PS1 and all that, they're gone. Unless you have a Vita or PSP. Anyways, but again, like Nintendo, my Nintendo Online subscription ran out. And I probably won't renew it again because I realized I never played online and I never played the Nintendo service. Why would I when I have a Nintendo Mini and SNES Mini and I prefer to play those games with that controller?
Sure.
As opposed to like the Switch, which feels weird. I don't like playing Mario 3 with a analog stick. I like playing with a D-pad. So my subscription ran out and I'm like, I wouldn't mind playing Super Mario 3 still on the Switch whenever I want, but I don't have that option anymore. Even though I paid for Super Mario Bros. 3 on Nintendo service 3 times. 3DS,
sure,
Wii, and then Wii U. But I can't access that anymore, which kind of sucks. So that's kind of how I feel with the whole like Game Pass and Xbox thing. Game Pass is different because they offer new titles, but the PlayStation thing is offering old titles, it sounds like. So it's like, I wish I can access those old titles I already own without needing a service.
I guess I get the impression that the top tier would have like new releases.
Oh, probably. But the fact that it's allowing you to play these games through a service that you already own that you otherwise can't play. Does that make sense?
It just, I don't know what it is. There's a je ne sais quoi about it, right? I just can't put my finger on it that Sony's version is just not going to be as good. Even though the Sony has objectively, like, if you only go Microsoft titles versus just Sony titles, right? No crossplay. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
Sony has a better library, right? I'm not crazy in that, right? Isn't that the consensus? No. And so, like, why would they struggle so much to get their own shit out on a similar service? Like, shouldn't they be able to go, oh, Game Pass, that's cute, and then stomp them? Instead of letting Game Pass fester and build this momentum that it is, and getting the mind share of the consumer, even though they catalog-wise have less to offer?
Or even then, like, you don't need Game Pass to play your 360 titles, digital or physical. Whereas PlayStation, this new service that PlayStation's offering, they're going to be... I have Chrono Cross already purchased. I have a digital and physical copy of the game. On PS4, I cannot play either version on PS4. But if I get this service, I can play their streaming version of it.
And that feels like wonky.
Right. Where Xbox, I don't need to play.
They would be like, oh, congratulations, you got a copy?
You have Alan Wake, the physical or digital, you can play it. But it's also here on Game Pass if you don't have it.
Is that specifically accurate? Like,
I saw Alan Wake there. I don't know.
Can if I had the Alan Wake disc, could I put it on my Xbox One X or Series X and it would work?
Yeah, just like I did with Silent Hill HD Collection, which is the only way to play that game. Or the Metal Gear Solid HD Collection, I can play it on there.
Shouldn't Sony be able to look across the bow and be like, I'm gonna dominate you because we have so much better IP?
Which again, Sony has emulators for PS2 on their PS4. So why the fuck can't I play my PS2 games I purchased to play on the PS4?
Isn't there a better Saturn emulator on Xbox because of the game that came out or something like? I don't know. All right. Well,
but speaking of Game Pass, I just added
more
this
in the news.
We're just gonna jump on there.
I'm sorry, that's really annoying. I'll stop doing it. This is the last one.
No, I love it. Keep going. Xbox celebrates 20 years of Xbox, and what did they do? What did they do to celebrate Xbox?
Nothing.
They added
nothing.
70 new backward compatible games, including 20 original Xbox titles. So if you have Xbox or Oddworld Munch's Odyssey, you can play that motherfucker now. I have the physical disc. I've only played that once on my Xbox and never again. I would have told you Monero 3 works on it. So they updated a huge amount of games. Unfortunately, Splatterhouse is still not one of them. It's the first thing I looked at. I was like, God damn it.
You didn't find that disc eventually, right? Or you rebought it?
Well, I had to rebuy it off EB Game, which apparently all our EB games now are all Game Spots now. Whoop.
Hey,
EB Games no longer exist.
You know what? Before you know, when we are 60, you're going to be living in the United States. So,
Yeah,
isn't 90% of Canada's population within like 30 miles of the border anyways? There's a ridiculous stat about Canada. And like your whole population lives unbelievably close to the border.
Oh, I have no idea. I'll take your word on it though.
I mean, if you look at the biggest, there's a lot of cheating in that, but like even Nova Scotia is pretty close to the United States, right?
That is,
you are.
I don't know. I am. Yeah, absolutely.
Vancouver fucking is.
Yeah.
What other cities are there? Winnipeg. Where's that?
This way?
I know it's between you and Vancouver, right? Am I wrong on that? Where the fuck?
No,
Saskatchewan, isn't that like... Oh my god, my geography's shit, but isn't it between you and Vancouver?
Scott, you're making me look bad. Stop it. Don't make me pull up a map.
Oh my god. Okay, that makes... You know what? You've made me feel better.
I know where I am. And I know where New York is. That's about it.
Look, if an American knows more about your country's geography, you're doing it way wrong because we're not told about anything else other than
geography. Because it's freaking Fox 49.
I'm going to look at where Winnipeg is. What else do you want to talk about?
No, I'm still talking about the Xbox new things that they added. So they added a bunch of games to Xbox One backward compatibility. This will be the last update that they release as well, which is why I'm even more bitter about Splatterhouse not being on there. So this includes the Max Payne series, and the whole Fear franchise is now available on Series X and Xbox One. The entire Skate franchise is also available.
Winnipeg 20 is close to the United States.
Who?
Winnipeg is close to the United States.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
They go
it's way further north than you, but you're way further south than a lot of the American northern border.
I will take your word on it.
This is awesome. I love knowing more about Canada than... Holy shit. I had no idea. Toronto is effectively in the middle of the United States geographically. Did you know that?
So Scott's been drinking today.
I can also still look at a map.
And
holy
he's really
shit.
Geography when he's drunk.
No.
I'm just trying to go over the Xbox news.
Let's go over the Xbox news. That's fucking crazy.
Kind of threw me off my game here, but
Winnipeg's close to the United States border, though. Regina, Calgary, that's close to the U.S. border. Vancouver's on the U.S. border. Quebec City, Montreal's on. I almost wore an Expos hat. I bought an Expos hat. How cool is that? Oh, you muted right when I did. You're like, fuck that. Nova Scotia, it should be, now that I'm looking at a map, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick should just fucking be states.
Scott is now yelling at me.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at the map. Like, why aren't they just the United States?
Scott is upset at a map for the geography of Canadian provinces.
I mean, if you were looking at the map that I was, you might go, yeah, fucking cut them loose. They're halfway home.
Well, Alaska's American, apparently, even though it's above us.
Exactly. You know what? Let's negotiate this. Give us, like, the bottom part of Ontario. So we'll take, like, Chatham and you guys. And yeah.
I like being Canadian.
You know what, Kevin? I know you don't want to, but the fact that Alaska's as big as the United States almost. It's insane how big that is. And why that's a United States territory is crazy to me. Huh?
I'm wearing a Christmas sweater right now because I'm practically in Alaska right now. So thanks.
I was going to say you're wearing a Christmas sweater because you're practically American. I hate that.
It's a Simpsons Christmas sweater, too.
Oh, you posted that online. That is sick. I love that sweater.
Since we're now talking about provinces, the whole Xbox Game Pass thing is no longer relevant. So let's go on to the next news, which you might like. Domain actually sent this to me. So the dude who makes all those remakes of games and makes them better.
Yes, Ed Findlay, which is a town that I'm from.
He made, what game did he make that someone bought that I got upset about? Was it Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? I want to say someone bought it.
It might have been Dr.
No,
I'm not going to talk about what you did. It was I think it was a different game that he did.
It was either Castlevania or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and someone bought a cartridge of it.
Dustin did, and Dumez got upset about it.
Right. He finally released his TMNT reshelled game. It's basically a rework of, like he did with the other games, of the first TMNT game for Nintendo, which everyone knows is one of the most shittiest games ever made, with fantastic music.
More broken. Like, he also had a good Ninja Gaiden. It wasn't that it was shitty. It was that there was a lot of good there and a lot of shit there too. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
like the original Turtles, I think is fun. Like maybe it's the nostalgic blinding me, but I like that game.
Comparing it to TMNT 2, though,
it's not nearly as good.
Which one was right? So, from what I saw in the video, it's still TMNT 1. And it's a free download, I believe, or you can buy like a version of it.
I think it is strictly a expensive paid download.
Oh, is it? All right.
To download is $25 US.
I'm surprised he's able to sell that. I thought the whole point was that he.
That was another thing. That was a discussion I wanted to have with you about this. Actually, is fixing it enough of the, I guess Konami or Ultra, would have to sue him in order to prove in court otherwise. But he's got like a Tecmo game, with Ninja Gaiden and Rygar. He's charging for downloads.
Right, and which I don't know
Simon's Quest. Simon's Quest was the one he fixed that we were talking about.
Right. But I don't know, because people release like translated versions of Earthbound for free. You know what I mean? Earthbound's not Earthbound, Mother 3.
Yes.
And people release that for free. And I always understood it was because you can't sell a game. You just can't sell a game, no matter how much changes you make to it, because it's not your game. That's why ROMs are always free, because you can't sell. But
is there okay, time out. But Weird Al Yankovic, who you're a fan of,
yep,
right, makes enough changes to be parody, where in the U.S. courts it is considered legal, parody. So it is protected under copyright.
Right.
And I just don't understand how this would qualify for that.
Because it's not a parody. He's fixing, quote unquote, existing games.
Is that enough change? And maybe no one's challenged it in court.
I mean, I'm happy for the guy.
It should be free or $50-$60 for physical copies.
Right. I think it should be a free download, and if you want a cool cartridge, then pay $50, whatever it is, because you gotta make money. But it's also at the same time, it's a hobby. This is what you got into, so this is kind of what you expect, right? Unless you actually asked. Now I'm going to sound like a fool here.
Do you want
But
me to contact me and fucking email him drunk and be like, hey. I mean,
what you're doing is
I'm
illegal.
the FBI. Is it? No, I'll just be like, I'm the FBI. Is this illegal?
He'd be like, no. Because Weird
Yeah,
Al,
respond
even
back.
though he doesn't have to, Weird Al does ask the artist for permission to parody their songs.
Correct.
He doesn't have to, but he does.
Because he's a good dude.
Because he's a good dude.
But this reshelled looks awesome though. Let's not get bogged down by that. Let's assume that's all in the up and up. Who cares about the details? It looks fucking awesome.
It does, and I would like to have played it, but
you can switch between turtles instead of like needing them to die, or you don't have to hit pause. Like you can seamlessly stream or switch between them, which is cool. I don't remember. Was April O'Neil a playable character in the original?
I don't know if
or was I just never good enough to get far enough?
Right. I don't think she was, but I also don't think I was ever good enough to.
Because in the trailer they totally show stuff that like I just wasn't good enough to get to.
Right. Do you remember the song for what's it called? Not Underground Overworld song for the stupid game?
I know what it sounds like. Yes.
Do you remember how it goes? Okay, you do remember. I just love that. You ever hear that song? Just an old video game song that just reminds you of it.
Yeah.
Like when you hear this song, you're like the whole Jason Friday the 13th song that always is stuck in my head. That.
Oh, I could hear that.
Yeah. Oh, you could hear that. Yeah, I was playing it because I wanted to. It's so. Whenever I hear these kind of songs,
it's so good. It's so good.
Now we're just drunk singing. I got rid of 2 new segments because this went on longer than I expected it to. And of course, and the last thing, Domez sent me a video of his nephew beating Metroid Dread in an hour and a half, which I will post in the show notes.
Yeah, I won't watch it because also Domez sent us an email to let us know Sonic Generations had an update. He said that he didn't know if it was 60 FPS in the email or 30 or 120 FPS. I don't think that it's if you have an Xbox Series X. You get this update, and I think that it looks awesome. I'll just say that. So I don't know.
That's a
when I tried to look it up, I thought that they said that it remains at 30 frames per second, but it's nearly 4K upscale. It looks awesome and it plays awesome.
Wow, that's very random.
So Demez has a video of his nephew that beats Metroid Dread in an hour and a half. And it will be in our show notes. And I clicked on it. And Kevin, can I tell you? Can I tell you a scenario that I hope is true?
Uh-huh.
I hope that Demez is the youngest. I hope Demez was an unplanned pregnancy by his parents.
Wow.
And that he had like a sibling that was 10 years older than him.
Uh-huh.
And they had a child that Demez is just slightly older than. Because the gentleman that is beating Metroid Dread in an hour and a half is Mr. Burns Bald.
Oh, well, Demez is older. I know that. He's older than us. I think Demez is older than us.
Like, by how much? Like, I mean, you say older.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, you realize I'm almost 40.
His
like,
hands.
I'm less than 365 days away from being 40.
Yeah, but 50 is the new 30 for us.
He's not that old. You think Demez is in his 50s?
Have you seen his keyboard?
Yeah, but what if he got it when he was 10?
Maybe
I don't think Demez is significantly older than me.
I've seen his hands. He's got old man hands.
Yeah, but his voice.
That's true, too.
I don't know. His voice sounds more
We're both very nasally, and we're like almost 40.
I don't know. You're not almost 40. You're almost middle-aged. I'm actually knocking on the doorstep of... If you think about it, I'm already in my 40th year of life. I just haven't hit a full 40th year yet.
Right. Yeah, I still got like a few years to go.
Yeah.
So,
and I guess I thought Demez was my age maybe like at the most like 3 years older than me. But his nephew, who
I don't think
apparently
he's
is
50,
sick at Metroid Dread, is
Right.
like super bald, and that threw me off.
Which brings us to the next segment. Sorry, I'm taking the reins of this podcast. I hope you don't mind.
No, it's smarter that you do it that way.
Which takes us to what we've been playing. Is it Told You I'm an Earl song playing? Is that what's happening? All right, cool. I'll let you go first because I want to hear about what you've been playing.
Okay, so I have been playing. Dude, God bless you.
Nope, I'll go first.
No,
I'm just joking.
hold on. I was like, Ghostbusters, the game, solid credits. That's not, I didn't scroll far enough. I'm very excited about Halo Infinite. I think I've already expressed that. I'm like super excited. So right now, the Spider-Man for PS4 is $20. So I bought it finally.
Did you buy the Game of the Year edition?
Yes.
Okay, here's what you do.
Oh, okay. I don't care, but let's go.
All right, cool. Download the DLC.
I did.
Because then you'll get those costumes from the DLC.
I don't care about
already
those.
in the game. That's the best part of the game is the costumes.
Then maybe I'll stop playing it.
Oh.
I don't care about costumes. We've talked about this.
I know, but there's like 30 to choose from. It's amazing.
Dude, I'm a default skin guy. It's just...
But they have the Sam Raimi Spider-Man costume in there and the Andrew Garfield version.
Wouldn't even understand the difference.
They have the Spider-Verse version of it where it's all like framey. They have the cartoon. They
Like
have
my video today?
Yes. Well, I don't see it, but you do.
Yeah, it's framey on my end. It's framey like that. Like, we look like we're at different frame rates.
Oh, I've never been smoother in my life. I have no more beer. I'm just doing this because it looks cool.
I know. Like, I'm out of beer, too. Oh, I got a little bit left. Okay, we're good.
So you got Spider-Man 4 or Spider-Man for PS4 for $20.
It's good. I'm in the mood for a Batman combat game.
Yep. That'll do it.
It's good.
All right. Don't like the story, the gameplay. How far are you on?
Okay, I'm super early.
Okay.
So who's the bald-headed dude? The big fat dude?
Kingpin?
Kingpin. Just got put in jail. And
All
within
right.
a month, he said, Gotham?
I'll get you, Spidey.
No, Gotham's DC. What city is Spider-Man? New York?
Manhattan.
Okay, alright. So, New York's going to hell soon, is what I was told.
I'll get you, Spidey.
And, again, this is super early. Doc Octopus? Doc Oct?
Yep, that's close to
just had a malfunction in his like facility, so he's not Doc Oct yet. But they told him that they're gonna shut his program down because he's not gonna get a second chance. So he'll be Doc Oct soon.
The Doc Ock.
It's fine. I'm glad I only paid $20. I'll say that.
Really? Oh, I paid 70 or 80.
I know a lot of people love it. It's fine. We'll see as I like upgrade, like how it goes. I don't think I'm gonna fall off. Like, I'm excited that I have it. I'm more. So here's my mindset, Kevin. I want to grind through this so I can get to the buying the Miles Morales stuff.
All right, that's fair.
Like, I want to buy that PS5 game and see how that goes. You want to know something that sucks?
Yes.
The Rumble does not work if you're playing it on a PS5.
Really? Why? That's weird.
Don't know.
Oh, just another stupid thing that Sony overlooked.
Yep. Not great. And I never realized how much, if it's a modern game, like if there's enough polygons, my brain has been trained to make that controller rumble.
You feel the phantom vibrate, right?
Or lack thereof.
Yeah.
But why don't I have, even if it's a brand, Shovel Knight, right?
Yeah.
Brand new game, could have rumble. Maybe it does. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't expect it. I don't look for that. But it feels broken in these modern games that it's not happening.
Right. And that's how
strange.
PS3 felt back in the day.
Which one?
Because the PS3. Because it wasn't a DualShock. The PS3 controller didn't have rumble.
Oh, that first one, that first 6 axis didn't have it.
Right.
That's right.
And that's why when you play Metal Gear Solid and Psycho Mantis like, I will make my controller vibrate across the room, and nothing happens, and you're like, wow, this is very sad and embarrassing. He's like, take that, and the controller's just sitting there.
Good old Kojima. Oh, we didn't bring that up in the news. He's launching a new movie, game, TV show studio. Did you see this?
Oh, no, I didn't.
In the United States. That's cool.
Oh, cool. He really loves his celebrities, that guy.
He is Kojima through and through. I'm just really embarrassed that you needed me to move the podcast along. Sorry about that.
I did? Me? What?
Yeah, you're like, hey, can we move it along to what you've been playing? I'm like, oh, that's a good call.
No, you'll listen to this tomorrow and be like, oh, Eve.
Probably. Is it going to be that bad? Am I going to not publish this?
No, this is fun. I usually feel like you're upset at me when I record, so. Yeah, okay.
I never am. I'm glad that I'm a monster. Anyways, instead of all of that, I've gotten absolutely hooked on Binding of Isaac.
I am so happy to hear that.
And I think this is cutting Dumez off a little bit. So he left a comment that was like, Scott, stop playing with joysticks. Play with just the D-pads. Both.
Right.
Dude, that was the most A+ recommendation that I could have gotten. So yeah. I'm struggling with a couple of things because it's ambiguous, right? They don't tell you what's going on in the game.
Right.
So one of the things was, hey, what do each of the pills mean? Then I go online and they're like, oh, well, the pills are random too.
Yeah, they're always random.
So it's not like the white and blue one's always the same. The white and blue one could be something different every time.
It'll be the same in the same run if you discover it the first time.
Ah, that's good to know. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do want to just put a massive stamp of approval on Binding of Isaac. It is phenomenal. And I got it on PS5. I got that whole rebirth, whatever
you got all the deals,
whatever that massive thing is, right? Okay. But gameplay wise, can I ask you a couple of questions that I'm not sure about?
You may. I am a Binding of Isaac.
I've got one in particular.
I would actually say I am a Binding of Isaac expert. I would say
clearly, like, that's not hyperbole. That's objectively true.
Yes.
Okay, so I will tell you this because you asked. I've gotten a mama a couple of times, or mom, or whatever. Like, fucking have not gotten through it. But I've been close.
Oh, really? You get killed? Okay.
Every time.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'm, freak out, like, just not playing.
Well, they also updated Mom the way she is now.
Oh.
Does yours shoot like lasers, like blood lasers?
Yes.
Okay, so they didn't have that in the original one.
It's hard.
They added in. Yes, it is harder because it's even hard for me. So I will give you. And the foot stomps more than once. It stomped like 4 times in a row.
Yes.
It used to be only once.
Really?
Yeah. So it's stomp, and then like you can hit it, and it like.
And then you can just hit the different appendages coming out of the windows, and you'd be fine.
Right. Her fat is coming out of the doors.
Okay, yes. So it's hard. But anyways, okay.
It's even hard for me because it's new.
One thing that took me a while to understand was, and I think when I first talked about this, I misquoted myself. I think it starts in basements, and then you go into caves or whatever. And I said I was on like basement 3. That doesn't exist. I just assumed that they were all called basements, and then when I was playing, I was like, oh, well, that's not how it works. Okay. The doors with teeth.
Yes.
Do you ever go to those?
Sometimes. It's risk reward. That's the whole point of this game.
Just sometimes.
Yeah. When I feel like I have enough health to go in there. When I first played the game, you're probably doing what I did. You explored everything.
Always. Every time.
Right. I get the treasure, and I'm out of there. That's how I play.
The treasure's the crown on the map?
Right.
Okay.
So when I first played in the beginning, I did the whole map.
Every time, that's what I'm doing.
Right, and I used to pick up every item. Now I know what items are bad and what items are good.
What are some good items? What would you recommend?
So
I kind of want to turn this into like a segment
the Binding of Isaac corner or basement?
Until I'm tired of that game. Yes. The Binding of Isaac basement. What are some things that you would, not knowing how I play, recommend for me to see credits in this game?
To see which credits, because there's
that's a great question. Okay, the first credits.
The first credits?
Beating Mom the first time.
Play the way you're playing. You're playing it right. That's how you play Binding of Isaac.
Okay.
You just don't have to explore every room. You do that if you want to get more shit. But once you get that treasure room, the crown, once you get that item, you have what you need in that floor. You can leave. Or the store, if you have money for the store.
Yeah, that does. Okay. Okay. That's
for
helpful.
Now. For the one of the first endings.
Okay. Yeah, because you keep putting spoilers out on Twitter, like where you're like in like a lefty rightly shoot 'em up mode. Right. I'm like, what is he doing? And what is he on?
Last ending. And the thing with that is, so you're doing it from the beginning.
Don't explain that to me. Just encourage me to.
Huh?
Okay, go on.
No, I was gonna say you're doing what I wish I was doing. You're experiencing the game with brand new content from scratch. Most of my characters are completed. So I don't have to do the journey you're doing. I'm just doing the extra couple like hours of bonus features that they added to the new stuff. That's a lie. There's other stuff. But I wish I was starting every character with new items like you're doing. Because I remember I 100%ed all three files.
All three files.
Complete. So now with this new add-on, those characters are still complete. With
Afterbirth, right? It's called Afterbirth.
Afterbirth, right?
That's what I'm playing.
So all those things were done. Now with Repentance, they added more. There's still a lot of stuff, but I'm not experiencing it like you are. Like I'm only competing. The reason why I post those videos is because they're the only new enemies in the game for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave so much meat on the bone on this game.
And remember, I've been playing this for 10 years, and I only recently started getting serious about it by like downloading the app. And all the app does is a checklist. Like, what am I missing to 100%?
That's so helpful if you care about that.
Yeah, it absolutely was. Because I used to, I was like Nintendo days. I would write on a notepad what I have, what I'm missing and stuff until I found out there was an app for that. And there's no cheating involved. I already know all the items, what they do. It was just helping me. Right. It's like, okay, I need this item. How do I go along getting this item? And then once it pops up, I mark it off the checklist on the app. And that's how I hunt the game.
It does take a bit of momentum. Like you have to be diligent of like grinding through, and not a lot of grinding, but you have to give it a chance to get going.
Right. It took me a long time.
And then eventually, like the new runs don't feel like, I think maybe because my skill is building, that I don't feel like I've lost everything when I restart a run, because
you're always unlocking shit when you're playing.
What do you mean I'm unlocking shit? Like no, so but I always start naked, right? I always start. Yeah.
But when you're playing a game, I don't know if you got any cool items that you're like, oh, that was awesome. I wish I could get that again.
Like, oh fuck, I wish I could get that again.
Did you get like the
laser eye?
The laser eye, for example.
The rocket bombs instead of yeah.
So once you've unlocked that in one of the runs, they'll show up again in later runs. Now that laser, you can have that laser and something called a homing or a bending spoon, where the laser will automatically detect enemies.
I've not had them come together, but I've had the bending spoon. So
right. So imagine the laser with the bending spoon. You're literally sitting across the room.
Yeah, I mean that is part of the hook of the game. But sometimes you're like, man, I got the greatest stats, but like I got fucked on the way to them, so I have like a half a heart left, and so you go back through to try to grind to find more hearts. And I had also my favorite item I've gotten so far. I don't even know what it was called, but like it would break just my normal tiers shooting. It would break rocks. Is that?
Oh, the sulfur acid you got. It was yellow.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So you can break rocks, and if you look at rocks with little X's on them, like look closely at them. Some rocks have.
Wait a minute. What?
Some rocks have little tiny X's.
Okay.
If you bomb those, You might get bomb, keys, or hearts. So
Are you
look
serious?
out for those.
Yes. This
And
is
this is the game.
This is
like
what
the
I'm talking
conversation in the
about.
schoolyard. Yeah.
How did you know that?
By accident.
No.
10 years of playing.
You just happen to notice.
Correct.
You earned that on your own.
Right. And I think one of the achievements, as they call it, was like tinted rocks. It has a picture of a rock with an X on it as well.
I mean, I've seen some rocks with like a bomb inside of it or whatever, but like,
yeah,
so I need to look even that much closer.
Once you notice it the first time, you'll notice it all the time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Binding of Isaac is, I'm not. Well, I say that, because no one starts heroin by going, I'm gonna be a junkie, right? So I tell myself,
I've been playing every night again since this new update came out. Like I've told myself I'm not going to and play other stuff, and I can't. I have to play this.
I don't know why playing on the D-pads felt so wrong at first, and it feels
it's a twin stick shooter. That's why.
You're right. That is why. And it was something about Demez maybe just giving me the confidence in his quote or his comment to tell me, hey, play with your two thumbs on the D-pads.
Right.
It changed the game. Like that's what got me hooked.
You use both your thumbs on it, both T-pads?
Yes.
Oh, I use my left hand on joystick and my right hand on D-pad.
No, well, on his comment, or maybe I misunderstood it, and so we'll bring it up in a bit. I thought he was talking about how the precision that I would need is just not good enough with the joystick on my left thumb.
Oh, well, maybe he plays the
So I'm doing up, down, left, right, just on both. But
wow.
And maybe it was me. Maybe it was confirmation bias kind of a thing, because when that game came out, it was WASD and up, down, left, right.
Right.
Which is, and when you bring the game up, it tells you to use those controls. Like what Demez told me that I ignore every time I start the game on the starting screen, and you did too. It sounds like you ignore the instructions by Ed McMillan.
Right. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. That makes me very happy, because nothing more like, oh, you got to watch this movie. And they're like, it was okay. I'm like, really? You just thought it was okay?
I finally gave it enough, and I did pay. I paid the $60, the 80 Canadian or whatever.
Yeah, I paid $35 for mine, and it was worth it. I got it for my birthday, technically. So
well, I mean, I obviously admire Ed McMillan.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I'm also like a super fan, because he and Tommy Remfries came on the podcast when they didn't know us from anything. You longtime listeners, Take My Balls and all you guys. Kevin, like how much that meant to me. That,
of course,
yeah. I got 4 seconds of my voice, and that might even be stretching it in that movie.
Yeah.
So, anything I can do to like pad his mansion even more, I don't feel bad about. So,
and the story is also interesting to boot. On top of it,
the story of Binding of Isaac.
Yeah,
I know the context. Like, I can't relate to it because I love my mom. Like, I had a good relationship with my mom.
Did you watch like the beginning? Like, Isaac lived in a house.
Yeah.
And it showed like story with his mom, and I hear you, Christ, or I hear you, my Lord, or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did grow up with like a super Catholic mom, and I'm an atheist, so like I kind of get that to a certain degree. But like, my mom never beat me over the head with religion or threatened me to like go to hell as a reason to do something.
Yeah.
She was like, "I'll take away your Nintendo if you don't do it," or "I'll take away your car keys." Like, I never had the issues, I guess, that are conveyed in this game.
Right, but I mean? Edmund, apparently this is actually what happened. Not all the way, but this is how he grew up.
Yeah, which is brutal.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. If you play the game more and you get all the 32 endings, every ending you're like, what the fuck? I must find out more. Like, it's really cool.
Cool. So, all right. I'm done. Kevin, Demez, you were right. I needed to give Binding of Isaac a good go because it is phenomenal. So, All right.
Sweet.
I am done, Kevin. Let's talk about what kind of credits you've seen.
I'm gonna go through these fast because it's very late.
Yeah, thanks.
So I finished the Ghostbuster. So after watching Ghostbuster Afterlife, I guess what wanted to play Ghostbusters again. So I've completed Ghostbusters the game remastered for the Switch, which I bought like last year.
Ghostbusters 3, right?
Yes,
effectively.
Technically, yeah, they would have been Ghostbusters 3.
Is this the first time you've finished that?
This is like my 10th time finishing.
Okay.
My first time finishing on the Switch version.
Fair enough.
And I just went in like on normal. Usually I play the games on hard, and on the PS4 version I played on hard, and I've done the achievements for like destroying more stuff and not destroying enough stuff. This one I was just like normal, skip the cutscenes. I know the game, I've done it enough times, beat it. It was fun. I really had a good time with it. Especially after watching the Ghostbuster movie, I felt like being a Ghostbuster again. So that was fun. And it's also nice to see Harold Ramis Egon back in the game, or back as a Ghostbuster.
Back alive.
Yeah, that too. And it's crazy that happened. Like that you got, and Sigourney, what's her name? Sigourney Weaver. Am I saying the name right? Sigourney Weaver said no to be in the game because she thought it was just like a stupid mobile game. But then when after the game came out, she's like, "Well, fuck! If I knew everyone was in it, of course I would have been in it." Like the only people who weren't in it was Rick Moranis and her. But anyway,
I love her. Who doesn't?
Yeah, she's fun. Right, of course. I also saw the credits to Metroid Dread. And
that's impressive. Is it?
Sure. No, it wasn't. It was. I beat it in 10 hours. It felt like 3 months because I would play like most of those 10 hours is me just being lost. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do.
Oh.
And you can look it up because it's a Metroid game.
Out of 5, what would you give it?
A 5. It was fantastic. It was
great.
You
loved it. Okay.
Oh, I loved it. I
was getting a little bit of
No, I don't like being lost. It frustrates the hell out of me because you have these things called Emmys that like kill you in one shot and you gotta run away from them, which is kind of frustrating. It was like Mr. X in Resident Evil where he just like shows up and kills you. I'm like, fuck, like I'm so tired of doing this scene where I just die. And I hate being lost because I'm like, I don't know. I've explored this whole bloody map. I went back, I went forward. I don't know what I'm doing and I can't look it on. Like, what am I supposed to do on Google? Stuck in Metroid Dread at the part after I got this part. I'm currently under this brick. Like, how do you can't look it up. So I just push through until I go in a room and just shoot all the walls until something explodes. I'm like, an opening, and I'll go in there and you now unlock screw attack. I'm like, thank you. That's what I need. Exactly. And it looked great. The last boss is kind of a pain in the ass because it's one of those like, I come in three phases, and you have to keep a certain pattern until you get me down and watch a cutscene. And I'm like, I hate that. I like boss battles based on skill, not by phases. Because I got to get you down, then I got to watch the cutscene, then I got to get you down again, watch the cutscene. And anyways, I loved it though. It was a great return to form for Metroid, and it looked great, sounded great, played great. I really loved it. And 10 hours for me, and that's me getting lost. I've seen people complain that it was 6 hours. And Domez's nephew obviously did an hour and a half, which is mind blowing.
That was obviously not the first time,
right? But if I were to play the game again tomorrow, it'd probably take me 15 hours. I don't remember a single thing I did or how I did it. So that was fun. And for my birthday, I got myself. I didn't get myself shit. My sister got me a Game and Watch Mario edition.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and she's like, she did the whole like, I got you this gift, and I opened it. I'm like, oh, I already have it. And she's like, really? I'm like, no, I don't. This is amazing. And I thought it was like a clock.
Little brothers are the fucking worst.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was a clock you can use, but it's not. And I don't understand the whole premise of a Game and Watch. But you can play Mario 1, Mario Lost Levels, and the old Juggle game Mario, which was the Game and Watch
game. The first one, like.
The first Game and Watch.
The one that was hidden in Super Mario 3, the Mario Bros.
No. The wait, what are you talking about? It's a Mario juggling game. It's literally him like.
Oh no! I don't know. That's cool. I don't even know what that is. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's the game. It's the original Game and Watch game that came with the Game and Watch. It's Mario Juggle. It's like beep beep beep.
Yeah, I remember like a stick figure kind of guy doing something like that.
Yeah, basically that.
Okay, cool.
And so my daughter's been playing it a lot, and she's loving it more than I have because I'm like, I don't need another Mario game to play. But it's such a tiny screen that it looks so good and it sounds great.
Cool.
But I'm like, I played Mario once so many times that I'm like, I can't. There's no reason for me to play it again. But
You're like, it's already bought. I can't buy it again. I have no use for this thing.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I'm just teasing.
And also, what was I gonna say? What was the last thing I had here?
Oddworld.
Oh yes. So for my birthday, everyone just gives me money now.
You look like Lando or whatever for a second there. You kind of froze in like a green state. Did you ever watch What We Do in the Shadows or whatever?
Yes.
You know who I'm talking about with Lando?
Yeah, the main guy.
Is there a main guy?
Well, the guy, the Destroyer, or whatever the fuck his name is.
The tallest dude.
Yeah. There's the main guy, then there's the guy, the psychic vampire, and there's a couple. The guy and the other girl vampire. Yeah.
Interesting.
Wait, what's interesting? Oh.
I never considered that, or I don't view any one of those characters as a main character.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, that guy. We're talking about the same guy.
All right, cool.
You just looked like him, cause, the fucking beard, and you were frozen. It was green. I don't know. That's one of my favorite shows of all time.
It's a great show.
It's
great movie too.
The movie is what got me hooked. Like with dude, what an A+ movie.
That show is filmed in Toronto too.
He does some good cameos. More so in the third season than he did in the first and second.
I like when they hiss at each other.
That's awesome. Okay, well, we do have to end this. I have another tangent I want to go on. I'm not going to. So, Oddworld, Soulstorm.
So for my birthday, people give me money now, which I don't like.
Kevin, it was your birthday? Sorry, that was a dick thing to say. Sorry.
No, I see. Most people are like, "Oh, it's my birthday. Who cares?" No,
I did forget to wish you happy birthday. I did forget it.
It's okay. I don't expect you to remember that.
I know it's in November,
but I like my birthday, and I like being alive for another year, and I do like the special feeling of the day.
That's surprising because you tend to hate life, so I'm proud of you.
Yes. No, I love that I made it another year.
Oh, Zarek, we are just finishing up. Zarek is in chat.
Hey, Zarek.
What's up, homie? Things are going good. We're just about done. Hopefully you want to comment on this. Happy birthday, Kevin, from Zarek.
Thank you. So yes, it was my birthday, and I get birthday gifts that are money now. So with money, I'm like, I'm going to buy stuff that I otherwise don't want to buy, which is going to be the Grand Theft Auto trilogy for the Switch, which A, has been pushed because the physical edition has been pushed. And B, broken. Yes, it's super broken, and I want to play it even more because I'm like, I want to enjoy this stupid nonsense.
Yeah.
Not for $80, maybe for 20. So I got myself the Oddworld trilogy for the Switch, physical, which came with New and Tasty, Munch's Odyssey, and what the hell? A Stranger's Wrath. And I was like, what else should I buy? And I'm like, oh shit, Soulstorm came out this year, and I never got to play it. So I bought Soulstorm for the PS4, which was a day one edition, which was a steel case, which was awesome. I didn't even know that.
Never had a steel case.
So it's like, oh shit, wait, I can't hear you.
Really?
Oh,
you got a little
I have
crunchy.
Two. The first one being Resident Evil 6.
Cool.
There we go. I can hear you now. We're back.
We're back.
So I played Soulstorm, and I hated it. I hated it so much.
Well, I thought you loved the Oddworld games.
I love them. They're one of my favorite franchises, and I hated this game. So first off, my character just kept aiming, and it wouldn't stop. I put videos on Twitter of him just like aiming, and you can't run, you can't stealth because he's constantly aiming. Then I found out my goddamn PlayStation 4 stick has a little bit of a drift issue, which only is affected in this game because you got to use that to aim. There's no way to remap the controls. There's no way to do anything. So I had to go out and buy another PS4 controller. I bought like some third-party one for $20. The aiming stopped. The aiming stopped. I can play the game now. The game's still not good. Oh, then there's so many bugs. There'll be cutscenes. You know when you play a game and you're like walking off the screen and the widescreen comes in to show you like transition to the next screen? During that widescreen moment, when I have no control over the game, I got shot and died. I was like, what the? And I had to start over. I'm like, what the hell?
That's awesome.
Like, once you take control of the game, I can't be accountable for anything.
In a way that I only find that funny and awesome how upset it'll make you.
Oh yeah, and previous Oddworld games, I got all 300 Mudokons in Abe's Exodus. I got all 100 Mudokons in the original Odyssey game. This one, there's a part where a bunch of Mudokons are climbing a fence and getting shot at, and I'm trying to possess people, and I'm getting killed with things in the background. I'm like, I would be happy if I beat the game saving one Mudokon. I don't care about that anymore, which is bad for an Oddworld game. Also, the story is different. Like, you know how Final Fantasy VII Remake is kind of a remake, kind of not. It's reimagining of the original one.
Sure, yeah.
That's what this is. This is supposed to be a remake of Abe's Exodus, but it's a reimagining of that story. So it's a little different. And also plays a little different. And I was so bummed out because the case is cool and I love the game and I'm happy to have Oddworld back, and I just wasn't enjoying it until they came out with an enhanced edition, which fixed a whole shitload of bugs.
Okay.
And it came as called enhanced for Xbox because it was just released for Xbox. So I guess it was PlayStation Time exclusive. But if you already own the original game, you get updated automatically to the enhanced edition, which also comes with free DLC. And so far, I don't feel like killing myself when I play this game.
Hey, how about that? Hey, that's a.
You still can't remap the controls because even like the audio, like there was master volume and that was it. So you're hearing like yeah. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying because this game you have to rely on what they're talking about. I don't know what you're saying because I can't. Well, you gotta like follow me, okay, and they follow you. And the cool thing is the speaker makes noises when you say people to follow you. Anyways, I already see you yawning, so I'm gonna cut this short.
Sorry.
I'm happy they came out with an enhanced edition. and I'm glad it was free. And I'm gonna keep playing. I don't want to throw it out like I wanted to like a week ago.
That's good.
Those are all the games I've been playing.
So I will say, since we have had an influx of Spotify listeners, thank you. If you're still listening, please go to Zarek Gaming on YouTube. Zarek, I haven't commented, but I still jump in from time to time or watch your hot takes that are on YouTube.
He's a cat.
So it's XEARRIK Gaming. His YouTube and Twitch channel are awesome. Even if you disagree with his opinions at times, which I rarely do, but if you do, he has well thought out opinions. They're not just all hot takes. You know what I mean?
Not like mine.
No,
Fuck Biden.
Sure. Dude, I've been so proud of myself about not knowing why I should fuck Biden at this time. It's great.
Fuck Brandon.
I don't know what's going on in politics. It's
wonderful. I stopped caring. Yeah.
Have you really?
I have.
How much
Remember,
better?
I hated Trump as a person.
Yeah.
Not just the president. I hated him as a person.
Well, fair.
Biden, I don't care about. Just like my own mayor or anyone in my country. I don't care.
Dude, that's a fucking liability. And all they're doing, my dad told me, they're just trying to keep him out of the limelight, which I think is great. Who cares?
He's pretty old. I remember I saw a video of him before I knew who he was, of him eating donuts.
He's
and
been like around for like 15 or so years now. Like he's been
I'm not American. I don't know people. Like
you follow American politics way closer than I do.
I followed Trump's American politics. I didn't like Trump. I hated only Trump. I didn't care about anything else.
So why
Trump.
would you follow? That's a different conversation. And we're at the end of the road. Why would you do that to yourself? Who gives a fuck that guy? He was terrible.
Because it was so crazy to me.
It was crazy.
Like, this is happening.
You're right. It was. You know what though? He never pushed the nuke button, so it always could have gotten crazier.
Right, and that's what I was waiting for. It's like watching a train crash.
Hey,
right.
I'm glad he didn't. Thank God.
Right. Until next year, or until next time.
So, yeah. So I think
comments or emails.
Yes, we do have a couple. Thank you. God bless you. We have. Which tab is that?
My beard is big.
Your beard is big.
Look at all that gray.
You're getting there, man. You're looking all wise.
You know it was my birthday recently, so I got more gray.
Yeah, you got like 8 more grays for it. So, well, one of the things that Dumez wanted us to bring up, we already talked about. What was it? That was the wrong
Binding of Isaac.
address.
Whoa, I coughed so
I
hard.
really, like, I swear to God, I had, like, the silly, I don't know, comments pulled up. I know one of them was instructing me on how to actually play Binding of Isaac, which was nice and thoughtful. He also sent another email.
Dude, text me anytime about Binding of Isaac.
Oh, dude, we forgot to talk about... oh, no, we didn't. The TMNT reshelled. The guy that Ed Findlay did, he brought that up, which was nice.
I got it from...
And then we talked about the Sonic Generations frame rate or resolution boost.
That was a good game. I should play that again.
I know he had another comment outside of instructing me how to play Binding of Isaac appropriately. So you went all joystick and you still got 1,000,000,000%?
Joystick for moving Isaac, buttons for tears.
That's impressive. So Dumbass says, Scott, Binding of Isaac, exclamation point. You need to use the D-pad and the face buttons.
Huh.
You get that fine, precise movement with the D-pad. The range of sloppiness on an analog stick is no good when the screen is full of bullets. Switch now before you get used to the analog stick. And you know what, Dumbass? I agree with you. I'm going to thumbs up and I'm going to hurt that comment because he's correct. Dumbass also says, I'm a bit of a liar when I said I never played Grand Theft Auto Trilogy before. I downloaded a cracked version back in the day of Vice City, but all I did was spawn cheat codes with rocket launchers and blew shit up everywhere. I did not actually play through the game the proper way.
No one did. Not for GTA 3.
Somebody 3 weeks ago commented on our Trucks and Skulls video that Tony did that I think may have been maybe the first video on our channel.
That's a side-scrolling game, right?
No, it's Angry Birds clone.
Oh, okay.
Someone just said nostalgia at its finest.
Wow, that's nostalgia? Shit, son.
Someone commented on a video I made of Cubby in a language I don't understand, but Cubby's the shit.
All right.
Someone also commented on my Ori and the Blind Forest Rising Water Level playthrough video that's like 6-7 years old now. Commented 11 days ago. Thank you, Bethany Mora. Then Elias Avery commented on Dustin's Kingfields video, which is cool.
Nice.
Cool. So, Zer's got a Trump comment. You ready to get into this?
Let's do it.
All right, I have no idea. He says, Trump, the least murderous U.S. president in my lifetime. Oh, killed the least
Probably true.
people. Probably true.
Killed a lot of brain cells.
But everybody sure thought he was insane. Well, those can be both true. He could be insane and the least murderous, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that was all his tactic. Nobody wants to mess with the guy everybody thinks is crazy. Sometimes you stumble into luck. Sometimes it's intentional.
He just sucks.
I wouldn't vote for him. However, I am a white man, and my parents hustled in life, so his policies may, when my parents pass away, put more money in my pockets from their inheritance and the government gets to take, and I will support that.
Am I white? Because I'm European, technically.
You are white. Do you know how I know you're white?
Oh.
Because you look fucking white. And if people say, if you're like, oh, I'm actually Portuguese, they'll go, wow, I didn't know there were white motherfucking people in Portugal.
I am the
And you'll go,
Portuguese.
wow, that's in Europe, you idiot. Most people in Europe are white. When I went to Spain, I was shocked at how everybody was white. Because I was an ignorant American and thought everybody was brown if they spoke Spanish.
Maybe you're just on the right side of the tracks. I joke, people. I joke.
Maybe.
We just got canceled off Spotify.
You like, Kevin, you're definitely, like, I mean, you look in the mirror. Like, does your wife call you a white man? She's brown.
She calls me, no, she doesn't. She calls me European.
European? European's
The
white?
thing. No, but here's
European
the thing.
does not bring a brown connotation in your mind.
No. European means not
American.
Like,
not from the United States.
Because I'm Canadian, but my mom was an immigrant and she was a cashier for her whole life. So that's like my, she wasn't.
But your skin color is fucking white.
I'm not talking skin color. I'm talking, what's it called? Like, I know I'm white. I'm pasty as shit.
Yeah, okay. That's all I was getting at. No, but your ethnicity is Portuguese. That's
I put European on like a form that says what's your background.
Yeah.
I don't put Caucasian.
My mom's like you. My mom, she looks like me. She's white, right? But her 4 grandparents are off the boat from Slovakia.
Right.
So, yeah. You're totally a white dude. Sorry.
So with my daughter, I'm always like, is it mixed?
Oh, that's touchy with her.
What do I put?
Because she's brown.
She's brown, yeah.
Because your genes are recessive because you're white.
Yes. European.
That is touchy, considering. Hey, you're supportive. You're a good dad. I mean, you have a lot of fun with your daughter, so it won't matter. Like, she'll grow up totally just fine with a lot of confidence, I think.
Yeah, more than me.
Yeah.
My beard's white. I guess
you should be proud, man. Like, you clearly have a lot of fun with your daughter. Like,
I do. Thank you.
So, you should be very, very proud. You come across as an awesome dad, so.
Stop it.
I'm serious.
I'm serious. Drunk Scott. He's like super nice to me. He's like my wife.
Yeah, I'm less frustrated. Well, you know what? The internet's working. So I can't take my anger out on you.
There you go.
Maybe it's a good thing you're not brown. Then I'd be gun shy. I couldn't like.
Oh, that's we got canceled again just now.
Well, I only like to yell at white people. How about that?
There.
So we got Zarek's got a hot take, and we'll end on this, right? Okay, I haven't read it yet, so maybe this will get us banned from YouTube. Hot take: all politicians are bad. Why? Question. Well, yeah.
They're
it's such a hot take. That's a pretty clear take. Because there's no consequence for anything they do. Yep. Even when they break law. That's true. Mm-hmm. That's true. That's also why I'm like, why are you competing against like different parties? Like, you realize they're all like shitbags, right?
Yeah. Well, I always think you got to be a sociopath to be a politician.
Oh, there's no absolute 100% truth.
Like, I can never pretend to take care of a bunch of people.
No, I would lie and get fired. No, I would tell the truth and get fired.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
I'm like, you want a new park? And over there, have you seen how expensive it is?
I'm like, I can't do that. Are you going to give me the money?
No,
I can't build a park.
You want to break the building down? Like, come on.
Yeah. So Zarek's like, they have no skin in the game, so why should they care about us lessers?
Right.
No politics from me. So, thumbs up. Hey, I just judge. Everyone starts 5 stars with me. You can lose stars super easy. Right. That's the way I live my life. The intention with that statement is give people the benefit of the doubt. Until they prove you wrong. Especially
fuck Trump 2024.
But mostly, I mean, the people that sit next to you on the bus, or that are at a restaurant with you, or behind you in the line at the coffee shop, that kind of stuff. So,
just be nice to people.
Just be nice to people. It's so much easier.
Yeah, and if they're an asshole to you, then
fuck them.
Walk away.
Start a podcast and talk about it.
Start a podcast and
all right, we are done. Stop talking about how drunk I am, and we're gonna end the episode. This has been a fun one. I will edit it and get it out here soon.
In 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. No, this one will be out sooner than that. I guarantee.
It'll be out by next year. I'll be 35.
Fuck you. Hey, the last several episodes, you've been surprised at how quickly I have gotten them prepared.
It's true.
So, this one will not take 3 weeks. Look, I'm on a different day job. Like, it's not as soul crushing as it once used to be.
Scott is yelling at me again because he's drunk.
I'm sobered up. We've been talking for too long. I no longer have alcohol in my system. So,
that was very easy.
That was hard to say, wasn't it? So that's not true. All right, everybody, thank you so much for listening to episode 350 of the Classically Podcast. Get us on Spotify. We have Amazon links in the description. We love you all. Christmas sweaters are for the season, and we will see you.
It looks like it's floating.
We will see. I know, dude. That is trippy. We will see. How drunk am I? We will see you next week. Yeah, maybe. 30% chance we'll see you next week, but within the next 2 weeks, we'll see you again for another episode of the Classic Elite Podcast. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!